All right, so as you all know, Lisa Murkowski, she always plays this game where she comes out and says, I'm very concerned about this legislation that the Republicans do. I'm not sure I can support this. This is concerning. This is worrisome. This is not right. She always plays this game where she acts like, she has a moral core and a moral compass. And then when push comes to shove, she always ends up falling in line and voting like a standard MAGA Republican. Okay, so she played the exact same game when it came to this big bullshit bill. And as you all know, this bill is an absolute catastrophe. Massive cuts to Medicaid, kicking millions of people off Medicaid. That's healthcare for low-income people and disabled people. Massive cuts to the SNAP program, which is the food stamp program, making sure that low-income people, including low-income kids, can have a meal and not go hungry. And at the same time they do that, they cut taxes for the wealthy. So it's class war waged by the billionaires and the wealthy on regular working Americans. That's what this bill is. Now, what did it take for her to say, okay, I'll screw over the American people? Basically, the Republicans had to put a massive carve-out in the bill where some of the worst implications don't impact the people of Alaska. So basically, she's like, if you spare the people of Alaska, I will vote to screw over the millions of people in the other 49 states. And that's what she did. Well, since then, of course you have, she's just been getting dogpiled, rightly so. And by the way, if you live in Alaska, you should be calling Murkowski and you should be just tearing her a new one, man. Because this is completely and utterly unacceptable what she did here. And she needs to know, we're not taking this bullshit anymore. This stupid fucking tap dance that you the tap dance that you do, I'm totally against this. And by being against it, I'm going to vote for it. Like, just fuck off. Fuck off forever, please. Here is Murkowski, and you have a journalist here questioning her about her move. And you can tell, what you're about to see here is, she basically has a mental snap on camera. Because she knows what she did was wrong. She knows there's no excuse for it. She knows she completely and utterly sold out the country. And here she is trying to grapple with that in real time. And as you can see, she's struggling with it. Watch this.
Senator Paul said that your vote was a bailout for Alaska at the expense of the rest of the country.
Oh, my God.
That's what Senator Paul said.
That stare says a lot. All this dude said is Rand Paul said, what do you say, your vote was a bailout for Alaska while it screws over the rest of the country? Something to that effect. I'll play it again. But that wasn't even one of the more biting criticisms of what she did here, right? Like if I was talking to her, I'd say, how does it feel to doom 50,000 Americans to death every single year by kicking all those millions of people off Medicaid? That's what I would have said, right? This is like a tepid criticism of her, and she's still nothing to say, staring blankly.
Senator Paul said that your vote was a bailout for Alaska at the expense of the rest of the country.
Oh, my God.
That's what Senator Paul said.
The entitlement on her face. Like, how dare you ask me even a mildly critical question? These people, man, holy cow.
Senator, we've got the...
I didn't say it, ma'am. I'm just asking for your response.
My response is I have an obligation to the people of the state of Alaska.
You have an obligation to the people of the United States of America. What if there was a bill that gave everybody in Alaska an extra $1,000 a month, but it murdered every other American? Like literally firing squad, let's kill over 300 million Americans. Which I have a duty to the people of Alaska to massacre every other American so they get an extra $1,000. Come on, man. Like, what are you doing here? What are you doing?
And I live up to that every single day. I fight for my state's interests, and I make sure that Alaskans are understood. I work hard.
She said, I work hard. Oh, okay. Then I guess it's okay that you kicked over 10 million people off Medicaid.
To take care of a state that has more unique situations, more unique people, and it's just different. And so when people suggest that federal dollars go to one of our 50 states in a, quote, bailout, I find that offensive.
Call Murkowski's office right now, please. If you're listening to the show, if you're a secular talk foot soldier, you better call her office and let her know You just doomed 50,000 Americans to die every single year because they got their Medicaid stripped from them. Over 10 million were kicked off Medicaid. It'll lead to an extra 50,000 deaths every single year. Let her know. Let her know she just declared class war on the bottom 90% and represented the top 1%. Let her know that. We're not going to play this, oh, I'm offended. No, you're not. No, you're not. You know who's offended? We're offended. We're offended that you just destroyed the social safety net in this country. We're offended by that.
I advocated for my state's interests. I will continue to do that, and I will make no excuses for doing that. Do I like this bill? No, because I tried to take care of Alaska's interests. But I know that in many parts of the country, there are Americans that are not going to be advantaged by this bill. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that we moved through an artificial deadline, an artificial timeline to produce something to meet a deadline rather than to actually try to produce the best bill for the country. But when I saw the direction that this is going, you can either say, I don't like it, and not try to help my state, or you can roll up your sleeves.
She said, do I like this bill? No. Okay, then why'd you vote for it? Why'd you vote for it? You could have voted no. If I don't like a bill and I'm a senator, I vote no. If I like a bill, I vote yes. That's how this works. What you're saying is, I came up with some corrupt scheme to take the rough edges off for the people of my state while screwing over the rest of the country. That's what you're saying. So, be honest. You voted for the bill. By definition, you like the bill. You support it. You voted for it. That is, by definition, that is support. So let's stop playing this game. By the way, look at this. Look at her face. Look at her face. Does that look like the face of somebody whose conscience is clear? That's my question for you. Is that what that looks like? One of the craziest things I've ever seen from a lawmaker, Lisa Murkowski, just did a long post about how Trump's bill is bad and not ready to become law, and how we need to get it right and shouldn't be the final product, after providing the tie-breaking vote for it. This was one of the hardest votes I've taken during my time in the Senate. My goal throughout the reconciliation process has been to make a bad bill better for Alaska, and in many ways, we have done that. In addition to extending pro-growth tax cuts, a larger child tax credit, and no tax on tips or overtime. We made a historic investment and modernization of the Coast Guard, enhanced our border security, blah, 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 blah. My sincere hope is that this is not the final product. This bill needs more work across chambers and is not ready to go to the president's desk. We need to work together to get this right. You voted for the bill as is. You voted for the bill as is. So what are the actual impacts of this bill? Here you go. How many people will lose health care in your state? And every single state's listed here. Alabama, 219,000. Alaska, 39,000. Arizona, 365,000. Arkansas, 158,000. California, 2.3 million. The list goes on. That's 17 million people who Lisa Murkowski just put their lives at risk. Look at these headlines. This is a direct result of this bill passing. Poorest Americans dealt biggest blow under Senate Republican tax package. Small improvements in taxes are overshadowed by cuts to health insurance and other federal aid, resulting in a package favoring the wealthy. Republican bill puts nation on new, more perilous fiscal path. Among the most expensive pieces of legislation in years, the Republican legislation could reshape the country's finances for a generation. Trump's policy bill could put the U.S. further behind China. Republicans' tax and policy bill could give China a bigger lead in the race to develop renewable energy technologies. That's another part. This bill is so bad, I haven't even been able to adequately describe the countless ways in which it screws everybody over. And one of those ways is all of the good investments that were made by the Democrats in green and renewable technologies, giving us the energy of the future and creating the jobs of the future. This bill comes in and destroys all that. Destroys all that. Doubles down on fossil fuel usage and gives China the lead when it comes to green and renewable technology and green and renewable jobs. Democrats bet jobs in red states would save clean power projects. They lost. By extending tax credits for wind and solar power, Senate Republicans may have jeopardized billions in investments in their own districts. This was a move by the Democrats. It was a bet that, okay, look, if we do our green and renewable technology projects and create hundreds of thousands of jobs in red states, across the country, then that makes it less likely that Republicans come in and destroy the jobs that we just created in their states. Well, Democrats were betting there that Republicans are not as sadistic and evil as they actually are. They are sadistic. They are evil. They did destroy those hundreds of thousands of jobs, and they don't care. They don't care. So it was an understandable bet on the part of Biden and the Democrats with the Inflation Reduction Act and the infrastructure bill and all that stuff. But fundamentally, no. It was, they were way too kind to the Republicans in assuming that, oh, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. They won't destroy the jobs in their own states. Yes, they will. And they just did. All right, I'll give you another one here. This is from David Sirota and The Lever. Republican lawmakers buried an obscure line in their tax cut bill that gives a $200 billion tax cut to their private equity donors when they take over companies, load them up with debt, and fire all of their workers. So now you have private equity vultures are now further incentivized to destroy companies, destroy jobs, and steal all the profit for themselves. It's just a nightmare. Like, this is just an absolute nightmare. And Lisa Murkowski is now one of the chief villains of the generation, I think it's fair to say. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.